Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Lauren Lewis. I'm a CACRAO volunteer. Welcome to the virtual college exploration for all North Carolina and South Carolina students, brought to you by the Carolina Association of College Registrars and Admissions Officers and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. We're just going to share a few housekeeping announcements before I turn it over to our lovely panelists. You can use the Q&A feature at any point in time during the presentation, and your camera and microphone are turned off so our panelists cannot see or hear you. And this is just one of many sessions we're hosting on our CACRAO website. That's CACRAO.org. So be sure to sign up for as many as you can attend. This session is recording like other sessions and will be available in about a week. So if you aren't able to make one session or this session, be sure to rewatch the recordings on our CACRAO website. Now I'd like to turn it over to our presenters.
All right, well, thank you so much. And thank you for being here this afternoon. And while we are certainly missing getting to meet you on the road and talk with you there, we are thrilled that you joined us this afternoon to learn more about Meredith College. So I'm Grace Sugg. I'm a Meredith graduate and I am Associate Director of Admissions at Meredith. So excited to talk with you a little bit more about Meredith's programs and the opportunities there as you work through your college search. So to start out, some information about Meredith. We are located in Raleigh. We have nearly 2,000 students total, and that's including our graduate students. And so we are in our 129th year, and throughout Meredith's history, there's always been a strong academic reputation. So across the years, seeing this consistent rankings that Meredith has received, you can see a few of them there. US News is the top regional national college, or Forbes.com, top 20% of colleges in the country. And across the academic curricula as well, we are one of only 2 women's colleges in the world to hold the top business school accreditation, or AACSB gold standard. Also top program accreditations for education, interior design, music, social work. So again, across the curriculum, really seeing that commitment to academic excellence. And the Alum Network at Meredith is very, very strong. I will talk a little more about that later, but really also looking at what alums tell us, you can see there certainly some consistent rankings there about academic outcomes and the quality of instruction received in the classroom. And then overall, 95% of our graduates tell us that they would choose Meredith all over again. So in terms of thinking about academic programs and what's offered at Meredith, there's about 80 different programs between all the majors, minors, concentrations, so variety of programs to choose from. I wanted to highlight just a few of the more unique programs or some of our newer programs. We do have a dual degree engineering program with NC State, since we are right down the street from each other. It's set up in a unique way. It's a 5-year program. At the end of the 5 years, students are graduating with a degree from Meredith, typically in math or chemistry, although we've added in some newer partnerships with our computer science and biology options, and then a degree in engineering from one of several pairings that we've worked out very well with NC State. And so the outcomes of those programs have been amazing since we started that. So graduates going into top graduate programs across the country, UC Berkeley full fellowship for city planning, or being a NASA Must Scholar and going on to Florida for graduate school, or staying in the local area to continue at NC State for grad school, or going into top placements at top engineering firms from their internships. So a really wonderful program there to get that combination. The Meredith Autism program is something I wanted to highlight. While that's not a major in and of itself, it's certainly a very unique and wonderful program we offer that does draw a lot of students to Meredith who are interested in that type of work. So it's a very unique program housed within our psychology department. It is applied behavioral analysis based, and it allows our undergraduate students to work directly with the children in the program, usually about ages 2 to 6, eventually being mainstreamed into a regular classroom is the goal. So again, it's very unique because it's one of the only ones in the country that allows our undergraduate students to work directly with those children. So amazing outcomes there as well. Hospitality and tourism management is our newest major on campus, and that's housed within our business school. So we've been excited to add that on, thinking about getting more women in that field, and then also thinking about us being located in the Raleigh area and having a lot of great opportunities to partner with the local area on that. We also have a few other unique programs in terms of partnerships. So we do have an accelerated law program with Campbell Law and Elon Law, allowing our students to complete their undergraduate and their law school programs in a shorter time if that's their interest in track. On campus, we also have some other partnerships with our own master's level programs. For example, our MBA 4+1 program, where you can start those graduate program classes in your senior year. Some other partnerships similar to that with education or psychology as well. And then also I'll mention we have a very strong pre-health advising program that really works with you as a student all the way through, not just on your classes, but very personalized advising on your internships and your research, your shadowing, mock med school interviews, on your applications, even down to your volunteer hours of making sure that that's relevant. So we've always been known for arts and education programs as well across the board. And then finally, I'll just mention if you don't see something there that is exactly what you're looking for, there's quite the possibility that you could design your own major or do a contract major with a faculty member. So maybe taking some different courses from different areas that are already offered, or we are part of a partnership of other schools, colleges in Raleigh, the Cooperating Raleigh Colleges program, maybe taking a few classes here and there to really create your own program for creative writing or museum studies or something that's very specific to what you're looking for. And a lot of that is due to the smaller size of Meredith. So the average class size is only about 16 students. So across the board, you're really getting that personalized advising from professors who know you, they're working with you on developing your goals and figuring out what pathway is right for you. And they're also working with you outside the classroom to make sure that you're getting hands-on experiences that will help you figure out exactly what you want to do and really become an expert in these different areas. So you can see here quite a few different experiential learning opportunities, study abroad, about a third of our students go abroad. We'll over half do undergraduate research, community-based learning, internships. So in total, over 97% of our students participating in some type of experiential hands-on learning in a variety of ways. And so I will highlight for study abroad our Meredith in Italy program, which is located in Sensapolcro, Italy, which is in the Tuscany region. So beautiful location in Italy, a wonderful history that Meredith has established there. We've traveled there for nearly 30 years. So the wonderful thing about this is to see that relationship that's developed with this town. On the left, that picture there on the left is the front door of the Palazzo, or the 16th century building that Meredith leases in Sensapolcro, Italy. And so again, you can really see while Meredith students are there that they are not just taking their classes, they're really experiencing the daily Italian cultural life. The town has really embraced Meredith. They feel like Meredith is part of their history. They even invite our students every year to be a part of their parade that celebrates their town history. So it's a wonderful place for our students to study. We can accommodate up to 16 of our Meredith students at once in this palazzo with a faculty member. So again, keeping that small, personalized environment even when abroad. And then of course we have students who've traveled all over the world. So really just a matter of talking with a study abroad advisor about how and where and when you'd like to have that experience. And certainly this is something we are currently missing this year. Really eager to get back to that when it is safe for everybody to do so. And so while there are a lot of exciting locations abroad, certainly the location of Meredith in Raleigh is a great one. So Raleigh is a fun place to go to college. I mentioned earlier the partnership that we share with the other colleges. So we are one of 6 institutions in the city. So we have that partnership that allows you, if you wanted to take a class kind of just for fun or above and beyond what you need at Meredith, you could do that at one of the other schools. There's over 115,000 college students in the Raleigh area. So always something to do, whether that's shopping, museums, restaurants, festivals, concerts, always something geared toward college students as well. And then certainly as you're thinking through college and beyond and getting those internships and professional development, no lack of internship opportunities there. And that combination of having that small, close-knit community, personalized advising, the strong reputation of Meredith, and the number of internships of the area, all of those things really work together to the benefit of our students. And then Raleigh in and of itself certainly consistently receives great rankings, whether that's top area for young professionals or the foodie city or one of the happiest cities. And so there's lots to do in the city of Raleigh, but there's also always a lot to do on campus too. So outside the classroom, there's over 100 clubs and organizations you can be involved in, whether that's something related to your major or more religiously affiliated or community service based or just something for fun that you want to do on the side. There's also a good number of traditions that are part of the campus life, so good ways to get to know people, get involved with your class that you come in with. The picture on the left there is from one of those many traditions. It's called Stunt, kind of like a field day between the classes in the spring before exams start. So chance to get outside, have some friendly rivalry with your classmates and the other classes, with tug of war, relay race. There's a lip sync battle as well. There are a number of those traditions, and I briefly mentioned the Alum Network at Meredith. It is truly unlike any other. A very strong community of about 22,000 alums around the world. We're really committed to supporting one another, and the wonderful thing about that is the lifelong friendships that you truly make during your experience. So that doesn't end when you graduate. You're always part of this supportive community of alums around the world supporting you, whether that's in looking for an internship or after you're graduating, moving to a new community. So knowing that you're sharing this connection from this experience is really a huge benefit as well. Arts, certainly lots of opportunities to be involved in the performing arts if that's something you have done or would like to do. All of our music, dance, theater ensembles and performances would certainly encourage you to look into that. You don't have to be a major or minor to be involved in those departments. There's plenty of room for you there, and you're certainly welcome to do that. In terms of athletics, we do have 10 different varsity teams. We're part of the USA South Athletic Conference, and our newest teams this year are golf that was added last year, and then field hockey for this year. And then I'll mention leadership as well. That is a huge aspect of attending Meredith as well. So formally, there's 600, 650 positions every year that probably need to be filled, and they're all being filled by other young women. So it's really easy to step into those roles, get that experience. But overall, also just in everything that you're doing, Meredith really tries to help instill in students that leadership is not just a title, but it's a way of life. And so you really get that experience with everything that you're doing to prepare you and to take with you. And then I will touch briefly on our Strong Points program at Meredith, which really encompasses most of the things that we've talked about so far. So every incoming student takes a strengths assessment, the Clifton Strengths Assessment, as a starting point to think about what you're coming into college, what strengths and skills and talents do you already have. And then Strong Points is Meredith's advising model. It's kind of the framework that we use to work with students in a variety of ways. So infusing that into your experience, thinking about your strengths that you're bringing in, and then how are you applying them in these 4 different areas. So the first part being academics. So that could be thinking about choosing a major, or it could be maybe applying your strengths through a particular assignment or class. The second component being experiential. So any of those things we've talked about, like study abroad or undergraduate research or internships or leadership, or maybe how are you applying your strength as captain of the volleyball team. There's a third part that's financial, so helping students think about negotiating a salary in the future, or what's a credit score, or how am I going to manage a budget for this project that I've been tasked with. And then the fourth part being career. So making sure you're prepared for your first job, but really more importantly, lifelong career. The Career Planning Office at Meredith is a lifelong service, so you can always come back for that ongoing support as well. And so Strong Points is really a way to help you think about your strengths and your experiences and how you can incorporate those into everything you're doing, and to help you think a little more intentionally about the types of experiences you'd like at Meredith and then beyond college as well. And so I'm going to turn it over now. We have one of our current students here with us, Alex, and she's going to, now I've given kind of an overview of what Meredith has to offer. She'll tell you a little bit more about how that plays out for her in terms of her experiences at Meredith.
So hi everyone, my name is Alex Miraz and I'm a current junior here at Meredith College. I'm part of the class of 2022 and I'm from Monroe, North Carolina, so right outside of Charlotte. And I'm majoring in biology and minoring in forensic studies on the graduate school track. I plan to go to graduate school for forensic anthropology once I graduate Meredith. So the Meredith community has really supported me in like reaching my goals and growing on my strengths through the different experiences that I've been able to take part of. So study abroad, different leadership positions that I've been able to hold, building relationships and with faculty and my fellow peers. So in the fall of 2019, I had the opportunity to study abroad in Sant'Sepolcro, Italy, alongside 14 other Meredith students, and was taught by Meredith faculty while I was abroad. I was able to grow my relationships with the faculty members and my fellow students. I was also able to grow strengths by learning about another culture and being pushed outside of my comfort zone. Through this, I've become more confident with public speaking and being placed in foreign situations. I've also gained more confidence in myself and knowing that I'm able to step out of my comfort zone and succeed when talking in a new language, because I had never took Italian before, didn't really know what I was getting myself into, as well as like learning how to travel kind of as a young woman and being safe and cautious while also kind of learning about the culture and taking a full course load while I was studying abroad. This experience also allowed me to gain a global perspective that I'll be able to take with me when I enter the workforce as well. So whenever you come to Meredith, you get assigned your top 5 strengths, and mine are input, responsibility, restorative, deliberative, and learner. And so all of them have the common theme of just wanting to learn more information, being able to store it, and wanting to share that with others. And so during my time abroad, that really clicked for me because I loved kind of learning about the history, going to the different museums and meeting all the different new people. And when returning home, I loved kind of sharing my experiences and information that I gathered along the way with everyone else. And so because of this experience, I kind of know more. I know how to better utilize my strengths and build on them. Also, through the different traditions and clubs that Meredith offers, it allows for a multitude of different leadership opportunities for students to partake in. So my freshman year, I was a co-chair of Fire and Water, which is an end-of-the-year tradition for freshman students. And I had never previously held a leadership position before, so this was new to me. And it made me realize that it's something that I really enjoy doing and that I can do. And now that I have the confidence to do that. And then additionally, even though I'm a biology major, I danced all my life, so I joined the Meredith Tap and Jazz Company, and I've also been able to take leadership positions there by choreographing or teaching a dance class now and then. And so that's another way that I've been able to kind of grow my strengths and gain more confidence. Additionally, with class sizes being small, I've been able to continue growing relationships with my different professors, and this helps with my own success in the classroom, but it also helps to kind of make connections in your field of study. So I still have professors that will stop me in the hallway, ask me how my day is, and just want to check in on you. They really want to see you succeed, and they really do want to help you while you're in their class or even when you're done with that course. So some of my favorite parts about student life involvement at Meredith is really being able to participate in the different traditions. I feel like this really just kind of shows the community that Meredith has on campus. So I'm able to meet more people in my class and bond with them outside of the classrooms. So one of the biggest traditions that we have at Meredith is corn husking. So each class will practice for months in advance before it happens, kind of doing different skits and dances, and you're really able to meet people that you wouldn't necessarily meet in the different classes that you're taking, and it's a really like unique bonding experience to be able to perform with your class and then kind of cheer on the other classes as you perform. And then additionally, I'm a junior, so I'm getting my Onyx in just a couple of short weeks, which is the class ring at Meredith. And so this is another way where I'm able to bond with my class and kind of celebrate a milestone together. And we're all just really super excited for that. And I can't wait to experience it, even though it's virtual with all my fellow classmates. So when I was a senior in high school, I toured Meredith 3 times before I kind of decided that it was the right fit for me. I was deciding between Meredith and a couple of larger state schools, but I ultimately chose Meredith because of the different experiences and opportunities that the college offers. The attention from faculty was something that I knew that I really wanted. I wanted to be a name, not necessarily a number, and I feel that I really have that. All of my professors know my name. They're so supportive. And then additionally, the sense of community that I felt as soon as I walked in on campus. There's something really special about being surrounded by young women who kind of have the same mentality as you and just want to push each other to succeed. And it's just a very supportive atmosphere, which I really enjoy, and I think it has been very beneficial while I've been studying at Meredith. And I just love Meredith, the atmosphere. Everything has really made me feel like whenever I graduate in 2 years, I will be ready to enter the workforce or to graduate school. So I just feel very prepared. So I'm looking forward to my last 2 years, being able to continue growing my strengths and preparing for life outside of graduation, and additionally continuing to experience all that it has to offer. So now I'm going to turn it back over to Grace.
All right, thank you so much, Alex. Always great to hear real stories about some of the programs and opportunities. So thank you so much for sharing that. So next, I wanted to go over some of the Meredith application, admission, and scholarship information with you all. So Meredith does have a variety of different application deadlines and ways that you can apply. So wanted to cover some of that information. The first application deadline you'll see coming up is early decision. So that is a binding application commitment. If you are 100% sure you're ready to be at Meredith, then we recommend early decision as a good option for you. So that November 2nd deadline, and you'd be notified from us by November 15th. Early action is the next deadline that you'll see. That's a good option if you are highly interested in Meredith, but not quite ready to make that commitment yet. Maybe you want to get some other information first before making a final decision. That deadline is December 1st, and you'd be notified from us by December 15th. And then if you do miss one of those, well, we do recommend one of those because of some other deadlines that I'll mention in a minute. But if you did miss one of those, we still do, of course, offer regular decision. That February 15th date is a priority deadline. So we would still be able to accept applications after that as we're able to. So that, just know that's a priority deadline there. And those decisions would go out starting mid-January on a rolling basis as we receive all of your application materials. So touching on some of the requirements, we can apply to Meredith through the Common Application. We're part of that, or we just have our own Meredith application as well. You should also be able to find us through the CF&C application. Also, we participate in College Application Week for North Carolina as well. So it really doesn't matter to us which application you use, whatever is better for you. Just touching on a couple of the requirements there. Make note that we are test optional this year. Also, the essay component, we do have a Meredith-specific prompt. So, of course, if you're doing the Common App, you would do your essay there and then additionally do the Meredith prompt. And that Meredith prompt is a two-part question, asking you to speak to us about why you think Meredith is a good fit for you in your future. And then also to share an example of a time you feel like you've reached a goal or overcome an obstacle, shown persistence in maybe a challenging situation. So certainly want to talk some about scholarships and financial aid, as we know that is a huge factor and consideration as you are choosing the best college for you. So just want you to know that Meredith really does try to partner with you and your family in funding your education. So you can see there, Meredith coordinates quite a bit of institutional aid to try to make this partnership and this education possible. So 95% of students receiving some types of scholarships and financial aid. And so submitting the FAFSA is also an important step, or the institutional aid application, to make sure that you are notified about every type of aid that's possible. And our financial assistance website, so I've highlighted at the bottom of this slide the scholarship specific part of our website. So that's a really helpful page to explore. It lists pretty much all the different types of scholarships that you could be reviewed for. Some of them I will highlight on the next slide, but it also gives some outside scholarship resources there, which can be helpful. You can sign up to be notified about some of those, or it recommends some other really good resources for you in your outside scholarship search as well. So the first type of scholarship that I'll mention here is what you would automatically receive review for when you apply to Meredith. So submitting your application to Meredith for admission would automatically allow you to be reviewed for academic scholarships. So this impact scholarship means that students meeting the 3.4 unweighted high school GPA, or since I said we are test optional, the 1100 SAT or 22 ACT, that would guarantee that $20,000 scholarship amount. But there are opportunities for up to $23,000 in that scholarship amount as well. And then on the other end of that, you would also see that we have some merit tuition grants and scholarships of lower amounts there as well that you may automatically be notified of. So again, that first part of review comes with your application for admission. Nothing separate you need to do there. Then we do have some additional scholars programs and scholarships that you might be interested in applying for based on your intended major or different interest areas. So like our honors program or teaching fellows program, or if you're considering a major in art or music. So all of these listed here would have a separate application. So you would need to apply separately for those. And all of them, you can see, have a January 15th deadline. Music has April 15th, but just be aware that if you are interested in applying for these programs, they do have separate applications and they do require some additional credentials, and then I'll have that January 15th deadline. And I'll also mention our top scholarships, our legacy and presidential, legacy being the full scholarship and presidential, the full tuition. We award a few of these each year, and the students who are selected to interview for these top scholarships do come from our honors applicant pool. So just make a note there of that's the process for those top scholarships is from the honors applicant pool. So my contact information is here, but I wanted to also highlight a couple of other pages from our website. So at the bottom, the Find Your Counselor page at Meredith, as you've heard throughout the presentation, it's a very personalized experience of faculty and staff working closely with you, and that really starts in the admissions process for us. So each one of you has an assigned admissions counselor, and so if you've not already done so, we would definitely encourage you to find out who that is based on your school. Reach out to our office in general if you need help finding that. But reach out, introduce yourself. We're excited to work with you. We want to hear from you. Make sure that you are connecting with us. And then that second link is our visit page. So we have a lot of different ways that you can visit us, both on campus and virtually this semester. So we definitely want to make sure you have the information you need about programs or the community or student life or the admissions process and scholarships as well. So we are offering on-campus tours right now. We're doing those in a very personalized format. They're always small and personalized, but especially right now, we're doing those with one counselor, giving a tour to one student with one guest, mask, social distancing, trying to stay outside as much as possible as well, while still showing you what we need to on campus. So know that that is an option right now, but we also have a number of virtual individual visits with counselors, faculty visits with a particular faculty member if you have an interest in a certain area. We have something called live talking tours. So you may have Alex or one of our other students leading you in a virtual format, live with a map tour of campus. And then I'll highlight that we do, for seniors, have our next virtual Think Meredith open house coming up on October 23rd. So again, lots of different ways that you can find out more. We would love to connect with you, have you on campus, or meet individually with you in one of those ways. So I see, I'm excited that some of you have already been using the Q&A feature to send us some questions here. So feel free to type those in. I think we've still got probably just about 15 minutes left here that we can take questions. So we will dive into some of these. So this first one may actually be a good one for Alex. The question is, do you have a forensic psychology major? So Alex, do you want to talk a little bit about options at Meredith for students interested in forensics and psychology?
Yes, so I don't believe that we have a particular forensic psychology major, but you can definitely kind of take different majors and minors to kind of mold what you would want to do. So because want to do forensic anthropology, I'm currently majoring in biology and I'm minoring in forensic studies. So if you want to go into forensic psychology, you could do a psychology major, minor in forensic studies. We also have criminology and sociology that you can do as a major or minor if that's something that you're interested in. So you will definitely be able to take like all the classes that you would really need to kind of get both of those connected, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for sharing all that information. All right, so our next question, do freshmen have to live in dorms? So yes, typically we do require our first and second year students to live on campus in our residence halls, unless they are commuting from the local area, living at home with a family member. This year, things are a little different. We've relaxed some of those requirements, so we did not require this particular year that our first year students live on campus, just trying to accommodate as many different situations as possible. So in a typical year, though, we would have that housing requirement. So first and second year students to live on campus in the residence halls, and then our juniors and seniors have options for continuing to live there in the residence halls. So you are guaranteed a place to live all 4 years if you choose to do that. Juniors and seniors also have options for on-campus apartments and for the moving off campus to an apartment off campus. We have foreign language requirements on high school transcript. So let's do that part first. Yes, so as part of our admission requirements, minimum course requirements, we do require 2 credits of a foreign language for admission to Meredith. And then, do we accept transfers, and are transfers eligible for scholarships? So yes, we certainly work with transfer students to transfer into Meredith. And certainly we see transfer students coming from a variety of schools, but I will just mention that anyone coming from a North Carolina community college, we are signed on, even though we are a private institution, we are signed on as a part of the articulation agreement with the community colleges system. So if you are taking those courses, starting there as a transfer student coming in, or if you are currently a dual enrollment student and I'm graduating from high school at the same time or coming in from an early college situation, all of those general education core classes from the community colleges in North Carolina transfer right over to Meredith because of that. And yes, we do offer scholarships to transfers as well. Some of those, it would be a similar process. You'd be reviewed at the time of admission. There are some different amounts there that are offered from first years. They're also listed on our scholarship website under the transfer section. So we do certainly also offer transfer scholarships. Oh, and then the next question was, will our dual enrollment credits transfer? So yes, just address that yes, they will certainly transfer in whether you are coming in as a true transfer student after completing high school, or if you're coming in as a high school student, bringing in those credits that you've taken during high school. Okay, how is the engineering major? So touched on this a little bit at the beginning. So with that program being designed the way that it is, something that employers have told us is that they really value that students are getting both the liberal arts foundation from Meredith and the engineering focus from state. So really the combination of both of those degrees makes you extremely marketable and well prepared for those positions, because you have not only the heavy engineering focus, but you also have the skills of being able to communicate well and work well in groups with others who are different from you, and communication skills in terms of writing and presentation skills. So there's all of those pieces that come with that program and what you're developing. So it's a very strong program that has gone very well since we started it. For both institutions, wanting to get more women into the engineering field and providing a pathway to come in with that small cohort of students, receiving that advising from Meredith, and then really guiding you through everything that you need to do to complete those programs. So again, you would typically be earning a degree in math or chemistry, although we've added on some newer areas for some options for computer science, biology, other areas. and then one of very specific pairings with engineering that we have worked out that we know you can complete in that time. And so the outcomes, again, have been great with students going into top graduate programs or right into positions that they have sometimes gotten through their internships that they've done with that program. So wonderful opportunities there. Okay, a question, do we have an apparel design major and the in-state tuition? So we do offer fashion merchandising and design, and so that program is under our human environmental sciences. So just something that you're aware of, if you're searching on our website under academics, you can find that tab for fashion merchandising and design. And so you can focus in on either one of those, but overall you'd be earning the fashion merchandising and design. And so that would be kind of our apparel design major there. And then for tuition, so since we are a private institution, our in-state and out-of-state tuition is going to be the same for everybody. So the tuition amount itself is for this year $39,952 for the year. That's just the tuition portion. And then if you're living on campus, that room and board is $11,746. And so again, there's some students who are living off campus this year, but that would be the full tuition without any of those scholarships applied, which most students are receiving some type of scholarship or financial aid. Last year, the average, just to give you an idea, the average financial aid package last year was a little over $34,000 for the year. Okay, do we accept AP credits? Yes, so we do accept AP, IB, dual enrollment credits. So all that hard work that you're doing in high school to prepare and come in, definitely would accept those. There is a page in our course catalog. So if you search under the registrar's office page, in our course catalog, there is a list of all the AP classes. Generally speaking, a 3, 4, or 5, 3 or higher on the test on the exam would give you some type of credit, but that page will outline very specifically exactly what type of credit you would be getting coming in, whether that's counting for the general education class or whether it's counting as an elective course. And also, I mean, if you need help getting to that page, definitely feel free to reach out to admissions or to your counselor, and we can email you directly with that page if you need that more specifically. Okay, so can students go in undecided or do they have to already have a major picked out? Alex, do you want to speak to that?
So some students do come in already having a major, but it is not required. You can absolutely come in as undecided. A lot of people don't know, and it's okay not to know. I mean, you're still young. You really haven't gotten a bite out of college yet, so you may take a class in arts and humanities when you were thinking about science, and you may want to go into that now. So it's totally okay to go in undecided. It's okay to kind of test the waters and see what you're most comfortable in before you decide to declare a major. But if you decide to declare a major and you don't like that, you can change as many times as you want to. Just test the waters, see what you feel comfortable in, and then just go from there.
Yes, and thank you, because there was a follow-up question to that asking, can you switch majors? So yes, that definitely addresses that. And one thing I'll also just mention, because I know we get this concern sometimes with the application, just know that when you're applying to Meredith, you are applying to the college as a whole. And so on the application, when we're asking you what you might be interested in or considering as a major, just know that we are collecting that information so that we can guide you in the right direction and know what types of information to send you. It's not set in stone. We understand that between applying in October and entering in August, that could definitely change. So you're not locked into that. Certainly, if you change your mind after you tell us you're interested in something on the application, that is perfectly fine. That's really just to help us collect information about your interest and send you the correct information. Okay, So can freshmen bring cars? So yes, all of our students at Meredith are allowed to bring a car. If you choose to do that, it's $200 for the year for parking. And fortunately for our campus, there's really not an issue with finding parking. There's always plenty of parking nearby where you're living or where your classes are. So you can bring a car. If you choose not to do that, though, there are a couple of bus systems that stop at our front gate. So the Wolf Line NC State bus system and the Go Raleigh bus also serve our area. So they stop right out front at Meredith if you don't want to bring a car, or if you just don't want to move your car to go somewhere else in the city. Okay, any community service requirements needed for applying at Meredith? So there's not a set community service requirement for applying at Meredith. I will say though, we do have a service scholars program if that is something that students are interested in really entering. That's something that they've demonstrated in high school is important to them and that they are interested in continuing to come in and really be intentionally involved in that as a part of their experience. We do have that service scholars program that students could apply for. Generally speaking, there is not a requirement to apply for admission. Okay, anyway, to stand out in the application process, I would say providing information. It's helpful to have just as much information as we can about you. So, your essay is kind of the place where you get to tell us a little bit more about yourself. That's probably the place where we get to know you the best beyond just the numbers on the page. So any way that you can make that piece of it interesting, tell us something, write that in a creative way that helps us to understand who you are, what your goals are, what you have in mind, why you think Meredith is a good fit for you, what it is that interests you in life or about Meredith. I think that essay is really the place to share that with us. So that's typically a good way to set yourself apart and kind of help us to learn more about you as an individual. All right. So what about students who have an IEP because of a learning disability? They make great grades but can't take honors classes. Would this affect their ability to receive a full scholarship? Would this be considered during decision making? So I'm sure you have many times heard the term holistic review, but I would just truly say that Meredith does a holistic application review and really looks at each student's application and situation within the context of that student. So really considering all pieces of the application that are submitted, looking at you for you, not necessarily comparing that to students who may be coming from different schools or different situations. And so really just trying to take each person as an individual and do that holistic review. So taking all of those factors that we have included in the application for you and looking at that to make those admission and scholarship decisions. So yes, all of those things would certainly be considered. All right, and so I think we probably just have time for this last question here before we need to wrap up, but question about how the business and management program is. So as I mentioned at the beginning, our business school is AACSB accredited, or the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business. So we're one of only 2 women's colleges to hold that. Only, I think, less than 5% of business schools worldwide hold that level of accreditation. So that is certainly something that employers know. They notice that when they're looking to hire. Within our business program, we have a variety of majors in terms of business administration, economics, as I mentioned, hospitality and tourism management, and then a number of minors and concentrations that you can choose from, as well as our MBA program. So really a great variety there that's very strong. And again, employers noticing that you're coming from that program. All right, well, thanks for those great questions.
Well, thank you guys for joining us this afternoon. Our panelists did a fantastic job. You guys had an amazing amount of questions and they got to pretty much all of them, which is awesome. So thanks again for joining us this afternoon. When you do close this window, there will be a quick survey with about 4 questions, and we anticipate and appreciate any feedback you give. Like this one, there are many more sessions on our CACRAO website. So feel free to sign up for as many as you can attend. And like this one, they are all being recorded. So if you're not able to make some, then you can go back about a week later after the session schedule and watch the recording on our website, CACRAO, CACRAO.org. So thank you guys all. Bye.